What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Season 21, Episode 2 of Hitting the Fields. Today, we have an interesting show for you as we recap the good, the bad, and the ugly of the NFL's first week of the 2025-2026 season. There was a lot of ugly, so stay tuned for Segment 3. You won't want to miss any of this. Don't go anywhere, because Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
And welcome back. Joining me to my right is Augie Aronson. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Nick. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, anytime. And to my left is Ty Patton. How are you doing, Ty?
Let's save that for a little later.
That's a guy that knows ball right over there.
All right.
This is a guy that knows ball right there.
So before we get into some of the good from NFL Week 1 so far, Augie, you were at the University of Florida, University of South Florida game this past Saturday, where we had another spitter. What
we got
happened
serial spitters, America. Serial spitters. First of all, happy birthday to my mom. That's why I was there.
Shout out.
Love you, Mama. Happy birthday.
Good job.
But yeah, another spitting offense. It's ridiculous, guys. Are we in second grade again? Like, what are we doing?
Might be.
Keep your bodily fluids to yourself. Okay? Easiest way to put it. And if you get mad at somebody, turn around and walk away. Or make the freaking play.
Yeah, I like that. We'll get into the first spitting attempt in segment 2 when we have an Eagles fan join us. But jumping into some of the good from the NFL's Week 1, starting with Breece Hall. Now, Augie, right back to you. You are a Steelers fan. You guys won the game.
You're killing me, Nick.
I'm
Two
sorry.
bad things back to back.
I'm sorry. Look, you
We did win,
You
though.
won the game.
We did win.
But Breece Hall made your run defense look like the Dolphins' run defense. What happened in that game? And Breece Hall did very good that game, 107 rushing yards, averaging over 5 per carry, which is like the ideal number you want for a running back.
I don't know. Obviously, our run defense hasn't been great for a while now. That's why we drafted Derek Harmon in the first round.
True.
He suffered an injury in the last preseason game. He'll be back this week, was what I'm hearing. But we still have studs up to know. We still have Cam Hayward. Now, obviously, our edge rushers, they run the football away from T.J. Watt. There's nothing they run the football away from, but he still makes it away sometimes. Cam Hayward, you asked for all that money. Where were you? Keanu Benton, where were you? Isaiah Loudermilk replaced Derek Harmon. Where were you? Where? Where was anybody? It looked like a damn sponge, and it was just everybody going right up the middle and whatever, but it wasn't pretty.
No, it was not. But talking about something that was pretty in favor of the Steelers. Now, Ty, I want to ask you, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of this guy by any means.
I still like him.
Look at the Ocho go.
Yeah.
But the point is, he threw for 4 touchdowns against
did.
the Jets defense, who
Not one of them.
isn't crazy.
Almost as many touchdowns as Kenny Pickett threw in an entire season.
Yeah, it is actually. Look at that.
Look at Rodgers.
Look at Rodgers.
How old is he now? Like very old.
70.
At
I think
least
he's got an AARP card.
he has to. I mean, like that's his next sponsorship. So okay, you're gone. So Aaron Rodgers, he
looked
killed it.
fantastic. He looked fantastic. Our offense looked like we actually were competent. Artie Smith, I wasn't sure how you were going to balance the 2 tight ends look.
He did.
It looked great. They
looked great.
both had significant catches. DK
We all
Metcalf
know
had
he
probably
loves
the,
Johnny Smith.
And how about DK Metcalf? No touchdowns.
Yeah, but he probably made the
That's not
luckiest
too
catch I've ever
surprising.
seen in my life.
Yes. Oh my God, the one
That was
where
the luckiest
he
catch I've ever
fumbled.
seen in my
Oh my
life.
God, that was great.
But no, the Ocho looked great out there, and I'm excited for week 2. And then when we got another revenge game with DK
Yeah.
going to Seattle.
So now, Ty, I want to pitch it to you for our next one, the Raiders. I was not expecting the Raiders offense to look this good. They get new head coach Pete Carroll in.
Pete Carroll's a dog.
He is a dog.
actually.
But Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, these players went off. Brock Bowers, arguably the best rookie tight end we've seen in 15 years, maybe.
Yeah. I would say.
Absolutely killing it again. Week 1 of his sophomore season. this Raiders offense is totally transformed.
I wouldn't say so. I'm a big believer that Geno Smith is the kind of guy that will average 350 yards a game. That's just an average. Okay, I look at
the guy can sling the pill.
He can sling
it.
the rock. But I look at the touchdowns, I look at the interceptions, okay? 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It's the same old Geno Smith we saw in Seattle. I see no difference. Now, the best part about Geno Smith, though, for any team, is that he makes the people around him better because he slings the rock so much. So that's why we're going to see Jakobi Meyers put up 97 yards, 120 yards a game. Brock Bowers putting up probably 80 to 100 yards a game. We're going to see them get better because of Geno Smith. But in relativity, it's pretty average.
But also, Brock Bowers, a tight end, averaging over 20 yards per reception is really impressive.
But Geno is, I'd much rather have Geno. I'm sure all Raiders can agree with this. I'd much rather have Geno than AOC and Jimmy G. So
very fair. Very fair.
A million %.
Geno makes them somewhat relevant and somewhat, okay, this team could compete. Now, are they Super Bowl ready? Of course not. But they could compete.
Yeah,
They
I would agree.
could.
We are going to move on. Still staying in that game, but Keyshawn Boutte.
Big
Haven't heard
LSU
that
guy,
name
big
in
LSU guy.
forever. But he performs this game with Drake May. Maybe new offensive system. Maybe Keyshawn Boutte is the guy over Stephon Diggs. I don't want to overreact because it has only been 1 week. But
give it a second.
6
on that.
receptions, over 100 yards.
Yep.
Keyshawn Boutte. And then we're going to move on to Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne, we all thought would be the backup under Tank Bigsby now. I wouldn't say that's really the case. 143 rushing yards. Granted, though, opposed to Breece Hall, who had rushes of 18, 12, 17, 16. Etienne had a 71-yard rush. So
That was by far the biggest
more
of the
than
game.
half of it.
Yeah.
But still, I'm surprised at that because also Bashal too, and there was a bunch of hype around him.
Yeah.
This Jags offense, we thought it would be a running back by committee. What happened in that game?
I mean, I was expecting the Ryan Thomas Jr. show.
Yeah.
That is
We'll
not
get
what
to
we
him
got.
later.
We
We
got
will get to
a
him
game
later.
from their running backs. Their running backs looked incredible. I don't really remember what Bigsby had, but I mean, Etienne, 150 yards on the ground, of course, it's a monster game.
It's a
That's
Liam
monster
Cohen
game.
thing. It's for sure a Liam Cohen thing. 'cause
Whoa.
this guy stinks. I hate Liam Cohen with every fiber of my being, but knowing him well enough, he is a big 1-2 punch guy in the run game. And if he gets one going, he's going to stick with that one. Same thing happened with Bucky and Rashad last year at Tampa Bay, right? If Rashad's on the ground, if he's pushing the rock, he's getting the carries. Okay, same thing's going to happen in Jacksonville. The only thing is, he was such a big, air attack guy in Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see more, especially since you draft Travis Hunter at the 2.
Yeah, they have a solid receiving core down there, and
It's not bad.
It's not bad receiving.
It's not
core.
bad.
It's
Travis
it's
Hunter-
a good receiving core.
We all saw he played 4 times as many offensive
Yeah.
snaps as he did defense. So I think we know what he's really going to be doing.
Cohen's post-game interview, he actually was asked that question where he said it's a ramp up. They obviously wanted him to focus on playing offense first.
Yep.
But they said they're going to ramp that up because he's got to learn different coverages each week, whatever they want to play. So he said he'll play more next week in each of the following weeks, but he will get more defensive snaps. So
Yeah.
yeah, if it's going to be a fantasy
I think only
owners.
7 snaps on defense this week, but
dream.
yeah, over time we'll see him stop moonlighting more.
Just
per
imagine
se
like
at
you have
defense.
him on your fantasy team and he catches 2 touchdowns and then he comes out with a pick.
Yeah.
Like how's
Well,
he
I
going to
don't,
score
I don't
that?
think picks count.
Pick
unless
sixes
it's
count.
Pick 6 does.
Okay,
But,
so he's got 3 touchdowns when you're playing him, and he's got 2 touchdowns and a pick 6. Okay.
I mean, we
Good, guys have
more
scored
than
90
half
points.
more than half of us were scared to pick him in fantasy, so I'm personally regretting it already. But we're going to move on to Justin Herbert, quarterback,
Big
Los
Justin
Angeles
Herbert guy.
Chargers.
Good.
Absolutely,
Big
he
Justin Herbert
dotted
guy.
up the Chiefs, and I could not be happier about it, except for I think the Chiefs are still going to win the Super Bowl. But 318 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns.
Yep.
Like, this game was great from Justin Herbert.
It was.
And he-
This was the Justin Herbert that everybody's been waiting for.
Exactly.
The guy gets a big time girlfriend. I guess besides he has got to step it up.
Big Madison Beer guy he is. How about it?
I suppose.
You said that slide he did at the end of the game. Maybe
Yep.
that's how he slid into our DMs.
Hey,
Ooh.
rumors. Let's make that known. But I mean, the receiving core down there?
Quentin
Speaking-
Johnson
speaking-
figured out how to catch a football. It
Yeah,
is a miracle.
he did.
Somebody told him that he's no longer a defensive back.
Quentin Johnson, 5 receptions, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, you got Mike
he's
Evans,
still-
or not
Keenan
Keenan Allen right there
Yeah.
making a
Keenan Allen
touchdown
out
catch.
there.
He's back.
Yeah, I mean,
Just like his old self.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Quentin Johnson still had plenty of drops in this game.
I mean, right there,
But
Quentin Johnson touchdown. Oh my! That
Last
did not
season
happen.
he would have dropped that.
Yeah.
Last season, he absolutely
So-
would have dropped that.
You know, Quentin Johnson, another player that did really good. 2 touchdowns for Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
Yeah, in the Big 25,
know.
insane.
I don't like it.
First thing I did was look to see if he was available in my waiver wire because I was like, if he's going to start catching footballs, because I mean he's got the talent. There's a reason why he went in the first round.
Welcome
Yeah.
aboard,
He's got the
Quentin
talent.
Johnston.
It's just I don't know
You've
if they
deserved a
replaced
spot.
his hands or what happened this offseason, but if he can catch now, it's a game changer for that.
He was out on the jugs. But
Yeah,
we're going
most
to
of
move
the
on
guy.
to another receiver who killed it and got 2 touchdowns this weekend. Ty's boy, Emeka Egbuka. Now, I was not a fan of him coming out of the draft.
No, you
I
weren't. I
immediately-
wasn't either for the first couple minutes, but in Jason Light we trust.
You're going to die for
I-
this guy now.
I'm
Ty.
gonna die for Emeka Egbuka.
I immediately changed my mind once Chris Godwin was going to be out for the season, or not the season, but and Egbuka was going to be used much more in the offense. Drafted him in multiple leagues, and he showed out week
Hey.
1 as a rookie. Talk
All
about
I
Emeka
gotta
Egbuka.
say, Christmas came early, gentlemen. Okay, Emeka Egbuka lit up this offense. Okay, he's the next big great out of Tampa Bay. Okay, Mike Evans, 51 yards, putting a little bit of double coverage. Okay, a high safety over top. What are you gonna do? You can't attack that little 25-yard seam fade ball you want from Mike Evans. Okay, what are you gonna do? In comes Emeka Egbuka. Okay, absolute stud. All right. 2 huge catches, fantastic throws by Baker Mayfield, mind you, in very tight coverage. But this guy's hands are made of, glue and Scotch tape. Okay, those balls stick to him.
He's got that old school stickum.
Yeah, old
Yeah,
school
has
stick 'em,
to.
big Michael Crabtree kind of hands. I love Emeka Egbuka. Okay, he is the new GOAT in Tampa Bay. All right, and mind you, guy's on pace to break Randy Moss's rookie receiving touchdowns record.
Okay, on pace is a little crazy. After
No,
week 1,
no.
but Ty, I love it. I love
This
it.
Bucks offense is very fun to watch. Ty has made me a tertiary Bucks fan.
Well, honorary.
not my number
Pseudo
1 team
Bucks fan.
or number 2 team, but the Bucks are very fun to watch.
I see him on TV and I'm like, I want them to win just so Ty Pan's happy.
Very true.
Happy man.
I love that.
Let's go, Ty.
Oh yeah.
My dog. I love watching the Steelers, by the way.
Well,
saw that Steelers win.
we actually have to move on. Speed runs through some of these next players. Christian McCaffrey, rumored that he wasn't going to be playing, rumored that he was going to be injured. I was going to be heartbroken because I drafted him in a league in the second round, so it was a
did I.
steal though. 69 rushing yards, 9 receptions for 73 receiving yards. Fantasy, he went off. Moving on, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 9 receptions, 124 yards.
Great game.
Fantastic game this was. Moving on, Puka Nacua staying in the NFC West, 10 receptions, 130-yard, doing Puka Nacua things like
Devontae Adams stinks.
he does.
Those last couple guys you mentioned, though, it's interesting. Like JSN, no longer DK.
Yep.
Puka's no longer got
Cooper
Cooper.
Kupp, yep.
Now he
Which
has
Cooper
Devontae.
Kupp did not look good.
Yeah,
No, he
not
looked bad
great.
too.
But I'm excited to see. 'Cause obviously, I think I trust in Puka more than I trust in JSN. I still like JSN. I want to see how he takes the wide receiver 1 responsibility now, because obviously DK was wide receiver 1. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what JSN does with that, though.
Sam Darnold connection with him too. Hot out the gate.
Started off hot. Yeah.
Now, we have about a minute left to recap one more game. Potential
Game of the year.
Game of the year
Game
that
of
happened
the year.
late last
They
night.
don't even need to play the rest of the regular season.
No, you
Let's
can
go straight
can
to
it
the
right
playoffs.
now and I'd be a
It's
happy
it's
man.
game of the year. Game of the year.
Game
by
of the
far.
year.
But can either of them beat the Chiefs is the question in the playoffs.
The Chargers just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, in the playoffs?
in the playoffs.
In
If it's
Arrowhead?
not an
Bills,
Arrowhead.
the
If it's not an
Bills
Arrowhead.
and Ravens game was spectacular. It
my God.
ended on a game-winning field goal. The Bills won 41-40,
Yep.
and some of these stat lines are insane. Josh Allen had a total of over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keon Coleman had 8 receptions, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, he ran all over the Bills' defense, and I loved to see it. I drafted
Absolutely.
him in one league. Derrick
Yeah.
Henry, 169 rushing yards.
Huge credit though to John Harbaugh, and scheming up these offensive tackle pulls in Baltimore. It's something you don't ever see. But seeing 2 big men, right, Tyler Linderbaum, maybe you got a little Ronnie Stanley or something
Derrick-
moving across.
yeah,
You
Derrick
set up
Henry
great
looked great.
blocking lanes there. You set up something good, and don't forget Josh Allen also had a rushing touchdown.
He had 2
That
rushing
he did.
touchdowns.
That
He had
he
2
did.
rushing
Total,
touchdowns. He had
4
4
games.
total
Total
touchdowns. The guy is
Insane.
insane, man. He is incredible.
He's the MVP, and I hate to admit that. But unfortunately, this is where the show our morale is going to be going down because next we talk about the bad from week 1 of the NFL season. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't go anywhere because segment 2 is coming right up.
I love you, Buka.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated.
I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and...
If you've heard of NASCAR, then you've probably...
Hi. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. And ultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon are back for season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show. And welcome back. As I previously mentioned, we will be talking about the bad from week 1 of the NFL season. This segment, joining me to my right for the first time ever on Hitting the Fields, is Scott Harris. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. Ready to talk about the negatives.
Yeah, I am as well. Kathleen, to my left, how are you doing, Kathleen Moore?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Nick. You know, I love the NFL. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to have an Eagles win. Thank gosh.
Yeah, so we're just going to keep talking about the Eagles for a second
yeah.
because, as I mentioned, our first spitting thing of the season happened
yes.
in that first game of the season. The Eagles' Jalen Carter got ejected. Now, what really happened? Because
Screw Dak Prescott! Screw Dak Prescott, bro. I would have spit in Dak Prescott's face, too. He deserves it.
Well, so he claims that he was just trying to spit.
He did it first.
Right. But he was claiming that he just was trying to spit, and the left guard was in the way, so he just spit over there. I think it sounds like an excuse. Surely you do too, because you're a biased Eagles fan.
Yeah, okay.
No,
All right,
no, we
that's
know.
enough. That's
no,
enough.
We know.
No, Jalen Carter, he's, you know, there's only so much I can say. Obviously, he didn't have to react that way, but I kind of get it because Dak has a very punchable face. And I personally would love to cause a little bit of harm to Dak Prescott myself, so I understand. And also, Dak spit first. Roll the footage.
I would like to cause harm too because I drafted him in our Hitting the Field showrunners league, and
Tragedy.
he did not do good.
Tragedy.
But you know who else didn't do good in that game? A.J. Brown. Scott, I know you want to talk about this. The guy did not have a target until the last 3 minutes of the game.
I think the timestamp was 155 in the game or 151, something like that. Yeah, left in the fourth quarter of the game.
Tragedy.
And it's ridiculous. There's so little to even talk about A.J. Brown that I couldn't even fit a full session of highlights. So I have A.J. Brown's only highlight from this game, if we could play that. And it really makes me wonder if after this game he's going to switch up the book he reads, like a more fitting one called Getting Open for Dummies.
Oh, yeah.
The guide to juke, run routes, and saving fantasy teams. Nick Sirianni should be putting him on the spots for these books like he did, like LeBron James was in the media. A.J. Brown, I want a book report by Sunday in the form of touchdowns and yardage.
Yeah, felt
needs to
bad.
apologize to every single fantasy owner that
Same
drafted
with Mike
him.
Evans,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, that seems like a stray. Not towards me. but
Oh,
7 points for Mike Evans in my league.
surely
What the
that's a
heck,
lot.
man?
Surely that's a lot better than 1.8.
Well, it is, but Mike Evans was projected 16.
And how many was AJ Brown projected?
yeah.
I don't know.
At least you didn't have Xavier Worthy. That's
oh,
all
tragedy.
I have to say.
That's a
I
real
did.
tragedy.
I hate you,
did
Travis
happen.
Kelsey. Thank you.
I have mixed opinions because I have Travis Kelsey in like 2 leagues, but I also have Worthy in 2 leagues.
Well, I'm glad we're not in the same league.
Very true. Now, moving on, staying in the NFC East, Terry McLaurin only had 2 catches for 27 yards. What is going on with these wide receiver ones? Because we
I
have
wish I
another
knew.
one in about a minute. Terry McLaurin absolutely stunk it up in this
Yeah,
game against the Giants and
I
their
knew.
terrible secondary.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the battle of the mids at that point. I mean, it was just insane, just back and forth all together. I mean, I don't know what he was projected for fantasy. I
Like
didn't have him on
15?
any of my
Yeah.
team's fantasy, and I don't know what he came out with, but it was ridiculous. How he, two
Two
receptions, 27 yards, with that much potential, it's
That
ridiculous.
should be like 3.2 points.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but
Crazy.
when he requested a trade, of course I was iffy to draft him in any league. When he signed his extension, boom, green light, draft him.
Yeah.
And then he does this. He makes Deebo Samuel like the wide receiver 1 in this
Especially
offense.
with Jaden Daniels too. Jaden Daniels should be able to find him downfield somewhere because he's so fast.
Yeah.
He is so fast. We should be seeing 25-yard catches from Terry here.
We should
but
be. But we didn't. We saw
Tragedy.
27 total yards. Moving on to Bryce Young, a quarterback that I was very intrigued to see this season. Granted, it's only been 1 week, but he looked terrible. 18 for 35 passing yards, and then 154 total yards passing. He did have a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and then he did also have 40 rushing yards. But 2 interceptions and missing almost half of your passes.
Against freaking Jacksonville, bruh.
Travis Hunter,
Jacksonville.
if Travis Hunter is the Jags' best defensive back, he was only out there, what did we say, 7 plays?
Yeah, it
like,
was 7
There's
snaps.
zero
That was it.
excuse for this. Now, speaking of the Jags, Brian Thomas Jr. also stunk it up. He slightly saved his performance by getting a touchdown, but he had 1 catch the whole game. 1 catch, 11 yards, 1 touchdown.
And this is still only like 10 points. Like, at the end of the
Exactly.
day, this is only 10 points.
When you're being taken at the end of the first round, beginning second rounds, that's an issue in fantasy.
Absolutely.
So, but then we're going to move on to the Bengals. This team had so many expectations. They played the Browns week 1. What happened? 113 passing yards for Joe Burrow. He did have a touchdown. 46 team rushing yards. And then Jamar Chase, the unanimous number 1 pick in fantasy this year. 26 total yards on 2 catches, putting up Terry McLaurin numbers. Then T. Higgins with 33 yards on 3 catches at least. They also, on defense, which we know the Bengals don't have a good defense, but we know the Browns don't have a good offense either.
The Browns don't have a good anything.
They don't. They were led by Joe Flacco.
Dear God.
What happened with the Bengals in this game?
I mean, it's ridiculous with the amount of potential that was in this game. Of course, 2 teams from Ohio getting at it. It was disappointing to see, and it was probably one of the worst possible wins you could have, if that's even possible, this season. I mean, it's just there's something that has to be figured out at practice this week if they want to get into the next week with a win.
I don't know how the Bengals sneak this game out. I mean, the Browns' curse is alive and well, as we can see. Freaking missed field goal at the end. You're a kicker. It's all you do. It's all you do. You shouldn't be missing kicks. That's final. It's
like
not,
Cody
it's not like it
Parkey.
was a 54-yarder. This was a very manageable kick.
It's just like
Go off.
It was still,
You got this.
It was still barely to the right. What are we doing?
It's just like Sunday night where in the Buccaneers game when Chase McLaughlin, I think it was a 30-something yard field goal attempt and he missed, and he made the 48-yard one.
Right. It makes no sense for these kickers.
I would like to say something to T. Higgins. T.
Please do.
Higgins, why? Why can you not run routes? Why can't you get open?
That's a fair
Can't
question.
you shake off your defender? What are you doing? Why did I draft you so early?
That might be a you question. Might be. Guy's 6'4", and he can't catch over these defensive backs. It makes
He's a big
no
dude, bruh.
Yeah.
This is a big dog.
It
and
makes
he
no
cannot
sense.
catch.
Every fantasy, TikToker and analyst was saying this game was going to be high scoring in the Bengals' favor, of course. And so then Jerry Jeudy They were going to be playing catch-up with Joe Flacco. Jerry Jeudy would go off. He had a good game.
Why Joe
but
Flacco had
what
such a good
happened?
game, bro?
Because
Why
it's Joe
did-
Flacco, and the guy's 89 years old, and he'll pass for 800 yards every game.
It's not fair.
Because
Apparently.
he's an elite quarterback.
It's not fair.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. We're going to move on, though. We have to. Kenneth Walker. This guy stunk last year. He's never really healthy. He had 20 total rushing yards, averaging 2 yards per carry. Therefore, quick math, 10 rushes, only got 20 yards. Zach Charbonnet, it has to be his time, surely, right? Because he had a better stat line in this game. Kenneth Walker, we thought maybe he would have a better season because there's a new offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, and I would not say so. 2 yards per carry
10 rushing
is
attempts.
disgusting.
Yeah.
10 rushing attempts.
Kidding me right now?
Absolutely disgusting. We are going to move on again, though. Bo Nix,
give me this.
I'm so sorry, Matthew, and you guys won the game, and RJ Harvey had a nice run, but Bo Nix, 15 incompletions, only 176 yards, a touchdown, but 2 interceptions.
I'm not shocked. I've always been a Bo Nix hater. Sue me. Sue
Yeah.
me. I've never been high on Bo Nix. I don't think he's all that. I've
Yep.
never thought he was all that. This is exactly the kind of performance that I would expect out of Bo Nix. Sorry, Matthew.
Yeah. There's a quarterback. Well, there's a quarterback. I'm very hopeful for Bo Nix. I hope he can improve
Yeah.
his play. I know she's not a fan, but I really hope he can improve his play just so we can get above the Chiefs this year. I'm not a fan of the Broncos. I'm
I was gonna
saying
say
we.
but-
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that just to put myself in
I
his
think we
shoes.
were
I mean,
all
they're
rooting for the
already ahead
Broncos.
of the Chiefs. Already ahead of the Chiefs. The Chiefs
Yeah.
are last in their division going into
insane,
week 2.
actually.
Yeah.
When is the last time that's happened?
It's
Something to
insane.
think about.
Now, another quarterback that stunk it up and didn't have that great of a season last year either, CJ Stroud. He might be a rookie phenom. 188 passing yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
Yeah.
Everyone's always
Dude,
too high on
what?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, there was nothing good for him last night. I think the Rams defense is probably going to be in his nightmares on Sunday night. He had more sacks in a potato farm. He had 3 sacks at night and an interception to put the cherry on top of that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And our final player that we're going to lowlight, I guess, is his number 1 receiver, who I was so high on, and I still am for the record. I had him as wide receiver 3 in fantasy. 3 receptions for 25 yards. I'm willing to admit that this is just like an issue with wide receiver 1s this season thus far. There will be a bounce back. These receivers will cash in fantasy, but this was an abysmal performance by the Texans in general.
yeah.
Texans
I mean-
offense is looking kind of
Disgusting.
poverty.
Almost-
poverty.
almost like-
For Nico Collins here, I mean, I feel for him because with how CJ Stroud played that game, I mean, and then CJ Stroud at the end of the game is going to tell everyone that his team was lollygagging. If you read the headline.
That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
talk like
Almost
this.
like all these players performing worse than they were supposed to. Hopefully they bounce back in week 2. We'll be here to recap week 2. Don't go anywhere though, because I'm going to lose my mind in about 3 minutes talking about the Dolphins, which were the ugly this week. Thank you guys. Don't go anywhere.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Ah, finally, he's here, man. Ah, he's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these. One of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
If you've heard of NASCAR,
to segment 3. I didn't want to be doing rants this season on hitting the field, but here I am because the Dolphins, I was at work yesterday for the game. I had to look away. I'm happy I was working and not locked into the game totally because this was the worst performance I've ever seen from the Dolphins in my 18 years of being a fan. This was the second worst game I've ever seen from Tua Tagovailoa. Now, really quickly with Tua. A week ago, I was still on the Tua train. I still believed that when healthy, he was a top 10 quarterback because he is so accurate. His, yes, his brain is scrambled, but he's so accurate. He doesn't do great at avoiding sacks, but this week proved me wrong. I want him off the team today maybe. He had 114 passing yards. He went 14 for 23 on his passes and only had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The Dolphins had 12 first downs as a team, 200 total yards, went 5 for 10 on third downs. They only had 7 offensive drives because the Colts were dotting them up. More specifically, Daniel Jones looked incredible. Daniel Jones went 22 for 29 on his passes. He had 272 passing yards and a touchdown, as well as 26 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. This is Daniel Jones we're talking about. Indiana Jones, the nickname, it might not be a joke anymore because he's giving off Sam Darnold vibes. Stunk in New York on the Jets. Daniel Jones stunk in New York on the Giants. Go to a new team with a new offensive mind, and they have a new identity. Because what do you mean we're allowing almost 300 passing yards to Daniel Jones? Now, the thing with that is we knew heading into the season that our secondary was abysmal. Storm Duck is a starter. We did sign Rasul Douglas. Didn't do enough, I guess, because our secondary was terrible. But more about the offense. This was Tua's second worst game that I've ever seen. He's had a game where he threw over 3 interceptions. So that takes the cake. But Tua needs to be off the team. I said this last year. My first rant on hitting the field in season 20 was about the Dolphins and how Tua should retire. Not because I think he's bad and not out of malice, but for his own safety. He can still have a life and still start a family. Now he absolutely has to go. And you know who else has to go? Tyreek Hill. The guy is incredibly immature, as we know. He gets arrested frequently. He has a kid every other weekend. He is not good at football anymore, at least on the Dolphins. He has to go. And if we don't want to trade him, he'll hold out. That's honestly fine. We might as well tank now. Get on the Nuss bus. Garrett Nussmeier will be a top pick in the draft next year. We have to tank because Tua is not the guy. Quinn Ewers, our 7th round pick, is not the guy. Zach Wilson, I don't even need to say it, he's not the guy. Chris Grier, our general manager, has to go, and along with him, Mike McDaniel. I've been Mike McDaniel's biggest hater for about 3 years now. He likes to be the players' friends. He is not a coach. He has no leadership. He's immature as well. He's just like Tyreek Hill. And Chris Grier doesn't know what he's doing anymore. This Dolphins team, it was the worst game I've ever seen from the Miami Dolphins. I don't even want to watch next week. I don't want to watch this season because I think the season's already over after 1 week. I don't want us to go 8-9 again, and now we have the 17th pick in the draft. That is not acceptable. We need to have a top 10 pick in this draft, get a whole new front office in Chris Grier, our new head coach, Stephen Ross. Sell the team. Do it, because someone else will come in and do what's right. Our franchise is not valuable anymore. Sure, we play in Miami. Sure, we have some cool jerseys, rivalry jerseys, dropping in 2 days on Wednesday. I don't even want to buy one anymore because there's no players that I want a jersey from anymore aside from Achane and Waddle, who I already have. This team stinks. I don't want to watch them next week or the rest of the season. And that's going to be all for today's rant. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, I guess. We recapped the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is going to do it for Hitting the Field today, though. Make sure to tune in next week for episode 3, where I hopefully will not need to talk about the Dolphins again, because we just expect them to be terrible. Have a good rest of your day.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to get